we're getting worked out. It's just different systems, so getting used to that, I think, and we'll be
Right.
good to go. Hopefully after today.
Okay, great. And I think we're pretty good as far as the basics go, as far as setting up an actual text message, or do you want us to still go over that?
Yeah, we should probably go over that too.
Okay, no problem.
Hello?
Hello, how are you? This is Paul with Media Solutions.
Hi, Paul. It's Paul.
Yes.
This is Brenda and Paige. We're having a difficult time getting into the GoToMeeting to look at the video.
Okay, I've actually just started the screen share, so you might want to refresh the link or re-click on it and see if it works for you now.
So we're looking at the stores and locations dashboard. Can you hear us?
Exactly, yep, it should be under stores and location dashboard with the text alert tab selected. Hey, Jimmy, why don't you give me an idea of, do you want to hold off for a few minutes and see how many people join up, or do you want to give it to a certain time?
Let's maybe just give it one more minute, and then we can get going. You're able to record it, right?
Yes, I actually just started the recording now, so we'll get it recorded, and I'll get you a copy or a copy of the link so you can pass it around if anybody wants to view it afterwards.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll just give it 30 more seconds maybe, and then we can get going.
Okay, great.
It is. No, I got paper. Okay. Pen? How about this? Or this? We have a black pen. That's all right.
All right, if you're ready, I think we can get going.
Sure. And so it looks like I've got, besides yourself, Jimmy, Paige and Brenda online. And Paige and Brenda, are you guys able to see the GoToMeeting okay, the video?
Yep.
Great. And it looks like Kathy is online as well. Kathy, can you hear me okay?
Not really. You're kind of mumbly.
Oh,
I agree. You're very mumbled.
Let me see if I can turn up the volume a little and maybe adjust my telephone a little bit closer to Not too great of a setup right now. 1 second. Okay, is that a little bit better?
No.
No,
No?
Not
worse.
better? Worse?
It's distorted and echoing.
Oh, okay. So it's probably not the actual. It's probably more the connection in the phone. Well, let's see if we can. Hopefully it'll clear up a little bit as we go along, but it's not too bad. You guys can all at least understand me, hopefully. Let's first just go over basically the text message program. I know this has just been recently set up for you guys for the internal use. And I've got basically on the screen here, or text deals alerts. You guys probably all have access to Solution Center where you guys can get logged in. Once you guys get logged in,
what was that?
Solution Center, where you would get logged in to set up text deals
Oh, yeah.
or alerts. Once you get logged into the system and you go into the text deal alerts, there's the blue tab here for create a text alert. You can click on that. On the account that I have here, it's really just a demo account, so it only has the one keyword set up for me here, which is Presto. Under your own individual account, so you'll have different keywords that you're able to send to, or different groups that you can send messages out to. If you just click on the group that you want to send to, you can either select one or multiple groups at a time. First thing you're going to want to do is put in the start time and start date when you want the message to be sent out. For my example here, I'm going to go and select the 3rd and select it for sending out at 8 a.m. And then the end date. Now the end date can be a little bit confusing, but with the end date, what you want to do is basically put in a date as far out as possible that's still going to be relevant for the message you're sending out. You want to cover as much time as possible for a few reasons. Basically, it's going to allow anybody who gets joined up later on to still receive this message. So if this message went out on the 8th, but I want to make sure if somebody were to join this group if it gets sent out on the 3rd, but if I want to make sure that somebody who joins the group maybe after the 3rd still gets this message, I can set the end date to, let's say, be the 8th, which will be Saturday at 9 p.m. So anybody who joins the group after the 3rd, when the message is sent out, will receive that message still all the way up to the 8th. It also allows basically for groups that are very large to receive that message. When a text message gets first sent out at 8 a.m. on the 3rd, basically what happens, let's say you have a group of 800 people you're sending to, what our system does, it puts those into batches or into groups of about 100, 150 users at a time, and then it starts sending those out over the course of a few minutes. So if you have a very large group, it can sometimes take 30 up to 60 minutes for that entire group to get sent out. So you want to give as much time as possible to make sure that you're covering all of the users.
So, Paul, this is Brenda. And for recall texting, we want to send it immediate.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just a short window. I mean, if everyone should get it at the same time, and we don't care if anybody joins 3 days later because the information is not relevant at that time. So do you have a send immediate?
Well, there's no send immediate. It's not going to send them all at once. Like I said, it does do them in batches. It's just to keep our system from getting overloaded. It does them in batches, and it starts sending them basically in groups of about 150 users, about every 5 minutes to 10 minutes, basically. It all depends on how much of a load the server has at that time, how much other things are going on as well. So like I said, if you have a large group, let's say of 1,000 users, you're probably looking at least a good 40 minutes for those to get completely sent out.
Okay, so we did that today, and
Mhm.
3 of our groups did not get the message.
Okay.
So, I mean,
How long of a window did we have for that to get sent out?
we gave it a 45-minute window, and the groups are sized from 18 to 20 in each. We sent it out to 7 groups, sized from 18 people to maybe 24 people in each group. So,
Yeah, it's not like it's a lot of people, so it definitely should have, if it was given at least a good 40 minutes, that sounds like it's definitely enough time for it to get all sent out. I'd have to look at the times that are selected for it. And you said that was set up for today?
that was set up for today, and it was the same thing that happened yesterday, but we didn't give it enough time. We only gave it 15 minutes. So we set it for 45 minutes, and it still occurred where the same 3 groups did not get the message. So I'm wondering if we have an issue with how the groups are set up.
Do you know what groups those were offhand? I could probably look it up, but if you just know it offhand, that'd be great.
I could tell you it looks like it was the Gulf Coast, Nebraska, and
South Haven.
South Haven groups.
And those are the same ones as yesterday that were not included as well.
Correct. Right.
So that sounds like it's something else that we'd have to look into.
Okay, great. Thank you.
For recalls like this one where it goes to all groups, we have a list that has everybody in it, right?
Yeah. But this wasn't all groups. Kenosha and Fort Worth wasn't involved, so we couldn't send it to all groups.
Gotcha.
So, and it sends a different text because, there's some of us corporately who want to see those all the time. So I received 4 different texts for the 4 different groups. Is there a way to combine them?
No, unfortunately, it's going to treat those all as a different text since they all come from a different keyword. So they're all treated as the system as a different text.
So what happens if we make the keyword the same? Is that possible?
Everybody would get included in that one group, and basically you'd make it just one group if the keyword is the same.
Okay, so that's the little title that comes up at the beginning of our texting, like KC recall.
That's just more of the name. That's just more of like an introductory name, so people know where it's coming from. But the actual keyword that you're selecting here, like my keyword here is Presto, but the intro text is Presto Text Deals. This keyword, the first one, is the group name. And if you combine those, then you're combining basically all into one group.
And so we have an issue with the length of the text because you're basically taking 30 characters away from us. We should have, maybe 160 characters, and I understand that maybe 10 or so should be, you have to put the message in to enter whatever to stop from receiving the text, but our text length is so short, we're having a hard time entering information that people could understand.
Right. The intro text can be up to, or as short as 2 characters. So we can make that shorter if you wanted to abbreviate some things.
We want to make it longer than 110 characters.
Okay, right. And the way you would do that is by shortening up the intro text. So if we shorten up the intro text, that gives you more of a body to work with as far as the actual message goes.
So we could just put the DC's abbreviation, KC, SP, KE.
Sure.
Paul, I asked Blaine yesterday afternoon to do that, so that should already be in the process of.
Okay.
Yeah, the intro text we definitely can edit for you guys and make that shorter, so that's not a problem.
So that'll give us like 5 or 6 more characters.
Correct, depending on what they are now. Correct. I said we can go down to 2 characters for those, so that's no problem.
So when we do the text, it says that there's up to 160 characters, but we're only able to enter 110 characters. I'm sorry that I'm sounding a little ignorant about this, but I just don't understand what happened to the other 50.
Right, and those are kind of on reserve because we know that, like I said, this system was mainly set up for stores to use, and with the intro text with a store name, it can take up some additional space, and then we do have the required reply us to stop at the end that we're required to have on there as well. So those are just kind of all reserved, but we can free up some of that space, like I said, by
That would
making
be excellent, Paul.
Right.
Excellent.
Right, we would just have to shorten up your intro text, and like Jimmy said, Blaine was working on that yesterday, and I think it's already done. I can double check that, but once those intro texts
That's only going to give us 5 or 6 more characters, and I mean, is there more reserve that you can give us?
That would be that. Once we get the intro text down as far as we can, that would be all the additional available space for it, basically.
Okay, we'll see how it works.
Okay, great. And we'll definitely check into the 3 groups that weren't receiving it, because it sounds like it's something besides just the time on there. There might be something with those 3 groups that isn't active, but we'll look at that.
So would you recommend more than a 45-minute gap? Because our groups aren't that large. 45 minutes should be plenty of time, shouldn't it?
Yeah, 45 minutes. I mean, because even with a really large group, you usually say within an hour it should have most of them sent out. But this doesn't sound like it's excessively large, so I would say 20 to 30 minutes should be enough. But I mean, again, there's no harm in making that window even 2 or 3 hours, just to be sure that you get everybody in there. Like I said, it's always better to be safe, and if you have that extra additional time on there, it's definitely not going to cause a problem. It does start sending out, you know, when the start time begins.
When you hit create, it immediately starts.
Right. Well, again, the time on here is based on Central Standard Time. So once you create the time on here, whatever time you put in, whether it's, you know, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m., once you get the time, once that start time hits, that's when it's going to actually start queuing up the groups, putting them into batches, and sending them out in about 5 to 10 minute intervals. Again, I would give it at least a few hours. I always, like I said, when I set it one of these up myself, I always put that start time or the end time at least an hour or 2 out, just to be sure I get everybody in there, even if it isn't a really large group, just to have that extra time. It's not going to hurt it at all. Once you've got the end time in there and you've got in the message that you want to send out, yeah, it's just simple clicking that create alert button. If it's scheduled to go out right away, it'll start sending them out in the batches. And that's really all there is to it. I mean, it's a really simple process. Once we get some additional space freed up for you guys, it sounds like it'll help you guys out a little bit more as far as getting the messages created. And then once we look into these additional 3 groups, the Gulf Coast, Nebraska, and what was the last one again? Was it
South Haven, yeah.
South Haven, okay. Okay, I've got those marked down, and I'll have Blaine take a look into those and see if there's something going on the back end that's causing those not to get sent out. Okay, and what other questions did we have?
As far as the start time goes, that's automatically in 15-minute increments as well?
Correct. When you go through and start selecting it, it basically just scrolls through in 15 minutes.
So why can't the start time be when you hit send alert?
When you click on the create alert button at the bottom?
Yeah.
This is just more for scheduling. Like I said, a lot of times when the stores set them up, they're doing these for future promotions, so they want to have the ability to set them up for future promotions, not have it sent out at the exact time that they're creating it.
So if I create one at 10:01 and I can't go back to 10 a.m., so it has to be 10:15.
I can go back.
You can go back?
Right.
To start time.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know you could go back. I thought you had to only move forward.
No, basically you can go back on here. So I'm already at 5 a.m. on, let's see, March 27th, so yeah. But like I said, we basically just have it in there as a scheduling feature because we know a lot of stores that go in to create these for their customers, you know, they're creating them for future promotions that are going to get sent out in the future. So we just have that ability for them to go in and when they click the create alert button, it's not doing them automatically. It could be scheduled for a future time.
Okay.
Okay. And what other questions do we have?
Well, it might
Can
be
we
good.
go back and check on a text that we sent? Like a home button to show you what's gone out?
Yep, actually, I don't know if I have any set up in here, because this is just our test account. Let me take a look here. Oh, I do have some. So basically, under our test account here, if you ever wanted to, let me go to the homepage so you can see exactly where I'm at. When you first log in the Solutions Center, you click on the text alert. You just click on the text alert deals. It basically has them divided into 3 groups. Queues for sending our future texts that are coming up or future messages that are going to be sent out. Currently sending, and then recently sent. These are all the past ones that you can do. If you see one that you want to actually click on and see what the status is of it, it's going to show you all the keywords that it was sent to, as well as the actual amount of messages that were sent for each keyword.
Can you go back and update one, make a correction if you needed to? If you hit send and then you realize maybe you put the wrong date, can you go back into it and fix it?
Only if it's scheduled to be sent out in the future. Once it actually starts and is current, you have to cancel it and then create a new one.
Okay.
Oh, how do you cancel?
Right up here on the, there's not a current one listed here, but if there is a future one listed, it'll be listed here. Actually, let me just go and create one so you can kind of see what it looks like. We'll just do it really quick here. I'll just do one for the future. So let's do one for tomorrow at 9:30. We'll have it end the next day.
Yeah, but we would do one for sure.
No, but if we,
he says it's already gone out. Oh, we can cancel it.
Yeah, so basically I've got one set up here. And if I go back in now, we see it listed here as a future one. Since it's not hasn't been sent out, it also allows me to edit it. If it was a currently sending one, I wouldn't have the edit button, but I'd have the delete button still. And the delete one lets you just cancel it out. So you can cancel ones that are set up for the future or current. The edit button is only for future text.
okay. So how do we manage our people that are in our group? So like we have people changing divisions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to move one person out of Springfield's group and move them into Kansas City's group.
Sure. And Jimmy, I'm not sure. Is this something that they have access to do on their own?
I have a manage button.
Yeah, it's under the text deals keywords module.
Right. And I know that I saw it in your account, Jimmy. I just wasn't sure if everybody else had that. But if they do, basically under the text alerts tab, you'll have this text deals keyword option. You click on that. You'll have all the keywords that you can manage, and you have a manage button you can click on.
Uh-huh.
Once you do that, you can see everybody who's actually subscribed.
What does that say?
And then you can actually go ahead and add in subscribers by putting in their phone number, first, last name, and then click on add subscriber.
And so if it says, I'm sorry, if it says inactive, does that mean that they've pressed S to stop?
Correct. They either press S or you're able to go and actually set them as inactive. Let me see if I have anybody active in here. Okay, this is just a test account. So here we go. These ones are listed as active, and I've seen if my phone number is in here, but I don't see it.
Somebody came back and said, hey, I'm no longer, you just hit inactive.
Right, so if there's somebody in here that you wanted to remove off of this list, you could just select this button here to set that from active to inactive. If there's somebody you want to add to the list, right at the bottom, you can type in their phone number. You can put in a first and last name if you'd like, and click on Add Subscriber, and that gets them added into the list.
So if a person has sent us the S to stop receiving messages, and their boss says, no, you need to get these, is there something they need to text back? What number do they text back, and what do they, I mean, like a keyword?
Sure, the easiest way is for you to just come in here and add in their phone number. You can definitely do that. But if they would like to text in, they can text in the keyword here at the top, which is Presto, to the 41570 number. And that'll get them reactivated as well.
Okay, all right, thanks. So each group would have to, so if they pressed S for the South Haven group, but now they're in Springfield, if I add their number to Springfield, does that inactivate them because they pressed S for the South Haven group? I know this is complicated, but just things I need to know.
Sure, no, all the groups are independent. So if they stop one group, it's not going to stop them from a different group that they're in as well.
Okay.
What about KCL Home? They would have to text in all. Or not KCL, but all AWG.
Any additional questions at all?
I can't think of any right now.
Okay. How about on your end, Jimmy?
I think I'm good. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think there's anything we missed or anything.
Yeah, I covered quite a bit, but if you guys definitely have questions, my contact information is on the invite that I sent out yesterday for this GoToMeeting. You can definitely give me a call or shoot me an email. So if something comes up in the future, I'll definitely let you know. And of course, I'll get you guys an update later today on those 3 groups that were not sent out. I'm gonna look into that myself, and then I'll get Blaine involved and see what he has to, what he can find on it as well.
That's great, because the first time we thought we didn't give it enough time to
and that's what it sounded like. Yeah, it definitely sounded like the time was the issue with the first one, but 45 minutes should be enough considering the size of the groups you guys are sending to there.
Yeah, and it was just odd that it was the same group.
Yeah, that's what really kind of interested me there, that it's the same 3. So it looks like maybe something on the back end with those, but we'll have Blaine take a look into that and find out what's going on with it.
Great, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And if you can give us more than 110 characters, we'd be buddies for life.
Well, I know we can definitely up that for you guys. And like I said, shortening up those intro texts is going to take care of a lot of it. And as far as I know, that's been completed, but I'll confirm that with Blaine just to be sure as well.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Yep. Thank you.
Great. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys all for joining in, and thanks for the great questions. I hope this gives you at least a little bit better understanding of how the whole system works. And like I said, if questions do come up in the future, just shoot me an email or give me a call.
Okay, great.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you, Jimmy.
All right.
Thanks, Paul.
Jimmy.
Bye-bye.